What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are going to be jumping into Dead X-Men issues 2 and 3. Now, we all know that Moira, she was vital to the creation of Krakoa, but eventually she was depowered. To prevent herself from dying, she was uploading her consciousness into a robotic body, and then she joined the enemies of mutant kind. To add more to all of this, there's an evil dominion outside of time and space with the ill intention for all life in the universe. Xavier is trying a number of desperate plans to try and stop this. One of those teams is the Dead X-Men, leaping into past versions of the timeline, versions created by Sinister, all done by artificially using Moira's mutant ability. They are going to these timelines to retrieve any kind of pre-robotic Moira in one of those timelines, to get her memories. And in one of these timelines, they were able to do this, to find a still mostly human Moira. Unfortunately, they unknowingly provided that cyborg Moira with the means to leap out of that doomed timeline and into her past lives. She is now cutting her way to her very first life, and this could jeopardize everything. So, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we pick up on Island M. Above the island, there is a giant tear in the sky, in space-time itself. On the ground, we have Metallo, we have Stinger, Quill, Tower, and Toad. But as quickly as we see them, is as quickly as they get incinerated. Absolutely decimated. Moira comes in, and Tower is the first one she rips through. Our refugee from a dead timeline. The mostly human Moira, wielding her weapon in one hand, missing the other arm. She is able to cut through these guys like they are absolutely nothing. This was Moira's 8th life, which means she is slowly but surely making her way back. This means that the Dead X-Men are on a time crunch. They don't know it yet, but they are about to be royally screwed. This is what picks us up with our Dead X-Men: Jubilee, Prodigy, Frenzy, Cannonball, and Dazzler. And we have Rachel here as well, letting them know that their mission was a success. They pulled it off. Now it is up to Xavier to meet up with Moira before her powers manifest. But all the engine timelines are dead ends. What Prodigy wants to do is not go to the Moira engine timelines, they want to go to Moira's past lives, to defunct realities. She doesn't even know if it would be possible to do this, not even from outside of time and space. But Prodigy says that they can't leave any options on the table. The knowledge that he could possibly absorb from those Moira timelines could be instrumental into defeating a Dominion. The key could be out there simply waiting for them, though it may be uncharted waters. Everything is on the line. This is something that they have to try. With Rachel telling them she can't send them to a specific location. This would be almost at random. They do have the mental map of Moira, though her mind, it was really warped. So they may not get an exact date, an exact place. With the No Place X under attack, they have no choice but to do it now or never. Rachel shoots them off, and we jump into one of Moira's past lives at Washington, D.C. We have Ultron Sentinels that are attacking everybody and everything. Now, Prodigy has had this mysterious little rock in his chest. Usually, all of these mines is too much for him, but right now, he's good. His powers are completely under control. As our team begins to take on some of these Ultron Sentinels, Prodigy absorbs so much information from Moira, he needs to figure out what timeline they landed in. As he starts to go through a local newspaper, this is where he finds out that they are in Moira's 7th life. She spent her life trying to wipe out the Trask bloodline to prevent the Sentinels from ever being created. Unfortunately, it didn't stop the creation of the Sentinels, it only stopped who was going to create the Sentinels. They were about 10 years out from her death and reality resetting, but this is when they all hear something saying, "Pull us out." They know that this wasn't Rachel, it was nearby, and so they go to the rubble to begin to look around. And what they find is Emma Frost carrying Betty, bloody angry and beaten. Emma Frost doesn't seem to remember who they are, but she shows them what happened to her. 20 minutes prior, they were having a hearing about the Sentinels, about what might happen, Emma Frost being here as the opposition. But that is when our refugee from a dead timeline, Moira, attacks. Wielding her battle axe, she strikes down as many foes as she can. It is an absolute bloodbath. They know that this was the Moira from the Engine timeline, on the destroyed Earth, and Prodigy has no memory of her. He knows that they changed her path. They caused this Moira to be going through her past lives, trying to get life number 1. Now, they're hoping that maybe this won't matter in the long run, that this world ends soon, and so maybe none of this really counts. Now, the Moira Engine clone timelines, they were dead offshoots of their reality. But Moira, the real Moira, remembers all of her lives. There is no precedent for what happens if these timelines change. The ramifications could be unthinkable. The insane version of Moira mentioned her first life. Think about the harm that she could do going all the way back to the beginning. And if they're responsible, they feel like they now have a duty to stop her. So their new mission is to find this rogue Moira, to put her down by any means necessary. And this is what takes us into issue number 3. We see our heroes jumped into a almost Egyptian-like timeline. This is Moira's 9th life. They have arrived at Apocalypse's throne room, and Moira is married to Apocalypse. Immediately, Apocalypse, he sends his goons after them to annihilate them right here, right now on the spot. Luckily, they're able to get out of here just in the nick of time, taking us back to the Atlantic Krakoa currently inside the White Hot Room. This was obviously not the life that they needed to get to. This is going in the wrong direction, and he screams out for Rachel to send them again, but everybody else, they kind of want to take a breather. The way Prodigy sees it, they don't have time to waste. That was Moira's 9th life. He didn't pick up anything from her about a Dominion before they had jumped out of there, which means the only goal of their mission now is finding and stopping the rogue Moira. This is where Rachel chimes in and they let her know that there's been a complication. Even if they can't gather information to use against the Dominion, they still need to reach the other past lives, because they are not the only one traveling to Moira's past lives now. This is where we get an image of Moira's 10th life, the life that is currently being led. We see Cyclops going on trial. She has been jumping all over the place trying to find her first life, and she is closing in. She has been to her 8th, her 7th, her 9th, she has visited her 3rd. It is only a matter of time before she lands on the 1st. No matter what the case, they know that they have to go back. And Rachel tries to let them know that we don't even know where we're going to be dropping you. But she completed her black hole weapon. Prodigy wasn't supposed to get this glowing rock stuck in his chest, but it happened. Now Xavier is on the verge of speaking to Moira, the one in her 10th life where she is still a child. Everything depends on him getting through to her and changing her mind. It is their best chance. If the rogue Moira affects this in any way, changes her past, finds her way to Xavier right now, everything could be destroyed. As we quickly get a glimpse at Moira's 2nd life, at Moira's 4th life. She is more an observer in these lives than anything else, passing through until she can get to the very beginning. But the team all agrees that it is time to head out. It is time to go find her and deal with this. They know where she's gonna be. She is headed for the first life. That gives them something to aim at, considering her first life was pretty uneventful. It didn't stretch 1,000 years or anything like that, so it might be a little bit easier to find. This is what takes us to Moira's 6th life. We are on what is known as the Preserve, year 999. The rogue Moira has shown up. She finds herself going toe-to-toe with Wolverine, with Rachel sending them out. We pick up far away on Earth's moon. We have a Moira sitting here being observed by Dr. McCoy, aka Beast. As the alarms go off with the dead X-Men team making their arrival, they think that this is another Sentinel attack. They are doing everything they can to protect this Moira. This is Moira's 5th life. But this time, Moira has the X-Men defending her. Banshee, Sway, Wolfbane, Psylocke, and Cyclops. And with them just being freshly attacked, they don't trust anybody, even if they look like people they may know. So this X-Men team, they attack the dead X-Men, with Frenzy battling against Psylocke. Frenzy is trying to let her know that we are not here to fight you, that we are here looking for something else. And Frenzy tells her to look in my mind, to read my thoughts and show me what you see. Tell me what you think we are after here. That if you simply looked into my mind, you would know exactly what I'm looking for. But it is already too late because she is here. As they turn around, this is where they see the rogue Moira, wielding her Mysterium battle axe. This is where everything ends. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. The Dead X-Men have been a relatively fun line. It feels like one of the few things of this ending era, the fall of the House of X, that's not rushed. This is a well-paced story that is showing us this X-Men team, the X-Men team that should have been. They have brought him here so that they can go and try and use Prodigy to absorb as much information as they can, to find out anything about the Dominions they can from Moira's in all of her timelines. But because of one of the rogue ones, the rogue Moira being able to escape the sinister timeline, make it into the 10 lives of Moira, if you will, now she is on the warpath to her first life, jumping from life to life until she inevitably lands on the first one. And she's almost there. She has knocked out a good majority of her lives, and if they don't stop her here, that rogue Moira will make it to life number 1, which means the one talking to Xavier in life 10. She would remember everything, the rogue Moira showing up, this letting her know what happens, so that when Charles Xavier does get there, Moira wants nothing to do with him and her plan will not work. Now, everybody else thinks that Charles is going to talk to her. Charles has plans to kill Moira. So how will this change things? Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything going on with this series, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It's gonna get you completely caught up on everything going on with the X-Men titles. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel memberships. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. If you are unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.